Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my paycheck breakdown for our paycheck that's coming up on January the 30th, which is next week. So we're going to be doing this breakdown and breaking down our envelopes, our sinking funds, and then what we have left to put over to an extra debt payment. This is our third paycheck for the month of January. And because of that, we won't have as many bills, and our envelopes will be keeping pretty much the same, maybe increasing a few of them just by a little bit, just because we have the extra funds to do that, and the extra debt payment will be a lot higher than it normally is. So I'll take this out and we'll go ahead and get started. So this is for January 30th. And I apologize because I've said before, for whatever reason, I have to turn my page kind of sideways in order to write on it. So we have two income sources, my income and my husband's income. And we get those bi-weekly. So if I add those together, gives me $2,094.95 for this paycheck. Because it is the third paycheck of the month, like I said before, we just have the amount that we pay to our church, and we have our truck payment, and we have our car payment, and we have our camper, and I also like to leave a cushion in our bank account. So just to explain, if you haven't watched my video before, this cushion, basically, we follow the system where basically every dollar gets a job. Some people will budget right down to the dollar. And they'll leave absolutely nothing in their account, and that's perfectly fine. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm afraid that something will happen and something will come out that I wasn't expecting, or that kind of thing, and it will leave us in an overdraft situation. So what I do, I leave a little cushion of $40 in our account. This keeps building in our account, and what we do is, if this grows to, say, $200, like an X dollar amount, we will then transfer that over to an extra debt payment. But I put this in our budget every time so that if something were to happen, we have this extra cushion in our account. So that's just what that is. So we'll add these together. And that's $910.96. So then we'll take the total of our income and we'll subtract our bills. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. That leaves us with $1,183.99. So then we'll move over to our envelope section. And this envelope section is basically anything that we use money for, like food, gas, household expenses, beauty, goes in our envelope section. So expenses that come out that we need to pay every time. But we can still control the amount that goes in there. So like for food, we budget $250. We have a miscellaneous, which is $30. And miscellaneous is basically for anything, say we have to get a prescription from the pharmacy and our insurance doesn't cover the complete cost of the prescription, it would come out of here. If we've used our food money but need some milk, it would come out of this. So that kind of thing. Then we have a fun category. which we put $40 in. And this is basically what we use for eating out, or if we want to have a family fun night or that kind of thing, we use this. Then we have gas, which is self-explanatory for our vehicles, and that's $200. We have beauty, which we use our beauty category for anything like toiletries, shampoo, conditioner, all that kind of stuff. Household is very similar to beauty, except it's for household supplies. So cleaning solution, laundry detergent, anything of that nature would go in household. And then we have spending money for my husband and spending money for me. And we just take $20 each. And I'll add these up. So that's $620. And I will say, for those new to starting budgeting, we did track our expenses for a couple of months so that we could see what we were spending previous to doing our budget this way. And then we sat down and came up with an amount that we thought would be appropriate for each of these categories. In the meantime, I will say, if you're just starting budgeting, this may for a while need to be changed. As you budget and as you go from week to week, you will see if you've over budgeted in a category, or if you, for instance, first when we started, I was putting $50 into beauty and household bi-weekly. We were not using $50 in household and beauty bi-weekly. So I adjusted it and lowered the amounts to what was working for us. Gas seems to be working. There are weeks that we use this. There are weeks that we don't. So I still budget $200 for gas. If we don't use that $200 at the end of the bi-weekly period, then what I do is we just roll it over to either our sinking funds, or we put it towards an extra debt payment. So you may need to juggle these for a little while until you get used to your budgeting system. And households change from time to time. This may need to be adjusted every now and then as your needs of your household change. That's quite normal. So we'll take what we had left over here, and then we'll subtract. My goodness, I can't. We'll subtract this amount over here, and that leaves us with $563.99. Then our sinking funds. Our sinking funds are bigger expenses or things that we're saving for. That's how I explain them when people ask me what a sinking fund is. So things like Christmas, for example. We are now saving for Christmas next year, and that way when Christmas comes, it's not a burden on our budget. We have the money available already saved up for Christmas. And so this time we're putting $60 in Christmas. And pets. Pets this time, we normally put in 40, but we're actually going to increase it this time to 60 as well. Clothing, we just put in $10. We don't need a whole lot in regards to clothing right now. So we're just allowing this to accumulate. If something comes up that we need, we will take it out of this sinking fund. We have 3 teenage daughters, so we have a sinking fund for girls. We put $40 in bi-weekly. This is basically used for anything that our girls may need, such as field trips at school, or our oldest daughter just recently had her graduation pictures done. So it came out of this sinking fund. Then camper insurance. We put in $25 bi-weekly usually. I'm actually gonna leave that at $25 this week because we do have quite a bit in our camper insurance sinking fund already. Our car maintenance, if you've watched my videos before, you know that my husband and I both have fairly new vehicles. With their insurance program, or I don't know if it's not an insurance program, it's what we opted when we bought our vehicles, the program that we opted for. Pretty much everything is covered on our vehicles, even down to our oil changes. But I did decide to make a car maintenance sinking fund because there may be something that we may need, like a new set of tires, that is not covered under that program. So we would have to have money for that. So we don't put in very much into this category because it's not something that we need overly often. So we only put in $10. We do have a birthday category, and I am going to put a little bit extra in this category this time just because we normally only put $10 in here, but we do have some birthdays coming up fairly soon. So I am going to put $20 in this category this time around. And we have a travel category. My husband and I have been chosen by our employers to visit Israel next year. And so we're saving, actually this year now, it's in November of this year. So we're saving towards this. So we're going to put $60 in here this time. So we're going to add these up. And that gives me $285 in our sinking funds. Then I'm going to take what we had left over up here and subtract this amount down here, and that gives me $278.99. And so then what I'm going to do is over here for our extra debt payment, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to round this up to $279. And so we're going to have an extra credit card payment for this month or for this pay period, sorry, for $279. So then everything, every dollar has a purpose. So everything from our income, every dollar of that income has been given a job to do. And that's how we budget bi-weekly when we get paid. So if you like this video, I'd ask that you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, I'd ask that you consider subscribing down below. My budgeting videos are done every Thursday. So one Thursday will be the paycheck breakdown. The next Thursday is actually the cash stuffing portion of it. So I go to the bank, get these amounts, and I stuff my cash envelopes. So that's normally how I do my budgeting videos. And every other day except Monday, there's a planning video on my channel. So if you're interested in any of those, check back with my channel again. I hope to see you again soon. Thanks.